Water is essential for human life. Slavic tribes, leading a settled way of life, settled near bodies of water. However, this dangerous element could deprive crops, homes, and even life. The primitive man was unprotected in the face of natural phenomena. Ignorant of the laws of nature, they believed in supernatural forces. Mysterious and powerful spirits in the views of primitive people were masters of territories under their control and possessed human qualities. Depending on the degree of danger, humans endowed them with malice or kindness. One of the representatives of supernatural forces was the spirit of water, named Vodny after the element he controlled. According to the ancient Slavs, the culprit of all troubles associated with water was Vodyanoi. Mythology presents him as an evil, but humanized character. The spirit of water does not live as a hermit. He is surrounded by many wives whom he chooses from the young drowned women who have turned into mermaids. At night he turns into a human and visits the widows. One can recognize the water sprite by the water dripping from his clothes. Vodyanoi takes his children born of him to his reservoir. His children born of mermaids also grow there. The Lord of the Water is on friendly terms with the Master of the Forest. Often the two grumpy spirits quarrel, and then the noise and crackling all over the neighborhood terrifies the superstitious peasants. The water sprite is acquainted with the miller. It is difficult to call this friendship, but more of a business partnership. The miller presents Vodyan with grain, flour, and beer, and from time to time brings sacrifices, for which there is always a black rooster or a cat in the mill. And Vodyanoi does not break the mill wheel and protects the dam. In mythology, local deities and spirits are described as profound old men and old women carrying out normal human economic activities. The water-spirited one was no exception, whose myths describe the underwater pastures where his herds graze, tell of the drowned men who become his employees, and of the unsightly appearance of the master of the water. Any body of water becomes a dwelling place for the waterman, be it a lake, a river, a swamp, or an artificial pond. His dwelling is a burrow dug in the ground. In rivers and lakes, it is decorated with smooth stones and shells, and in dams and marshes, with cussweed and algae. The entrance to the dwelling is in the pond, the deepest place of the body of water. In the winter, when the underwater life dies down under a thick layer of ice, the spirit falls asleep in his chambers. In spring, the master of the water emerges from his lair hungry and angry. He breaks the ice with a bang, scaring the fish and other water inhabitants. The peasants treat the water sprite with treats so that he won't make trouble during the high water and won't deprive the fishermen of their catch in the summer. The food, bread and flour, and drink, beer and mead are used. When the threat of flooding is too great, more radical measures are needed: sacrificial offerings. Black animals, roosters and cats, or the skull of a horse are thrown into the water. Similar rituals can be repeated in the summer if there are too many accidents on the water. It was popularly believed that the spirit is angry, as evidenced by the large number of drownings. There are legends that these traditions are an echo of older and more cruel rites, when a live horse or a beautiful girl was sent to the bottom of a body of water as a sacrifice. In the summer, the waterman is usually quiet and peaceful. At night he goes ashore and combs his beard with a comb.